Sometimes, life's greatest lessons come from the deepest struggles. Behind every success story is a journey filled with hidden pain, lost dreams, and the courage to stand up after every fall. Today, we will know the incredible story of Liam Parker, a college dropout who faced heartbreak, loneliness, and failure, but still built a billion-dollar empire. This is not just a story of success, but of pain, love, loss, and hope. Liam Parker grew up in a small town in Ohio. He was just an ordinary boy with big dreams. His father, Michael Parker, worked 2 jobs to support the family, while his mother, Sarah Parker, was a kind-hearted woman who always told Liam, "You can be anything you want if you believe in yourself." Those words stayed with Liam forever. But life was not easy. When Liam was 16, tragedy struck. His mother passed away after a long battle with cancer. He still remembered holding her cold hand at the hospital, wishing he had more time with her. He felt guilty because, in her final moments, he was at a friend's birthday party thinking she'd be okay. That guilt never left him. After his mother's death, Liam's heart changed. He became distant, quiet, and angry at the world. His father tried to comfort him, but Liam pushed him away. He felt alone even when surrounded by people. The house felt empty without his mother's laughter. When he turned 18, Liam went to college in New York, hoping for a fresh start. But college was not what he expected. He felt lost in the crowd, like an invisible dot in a sea of faces. His grades dropped, and he skipped classes. One day, after failing an important exam, he sat alone in his dorm room, staring at a photo of his mom. He whispered, "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm a failure." Liam decided to drop out of college. He packed his bags and left without telling anyone. His father was heartbroken when he found out. They had a huge fight over the phone. Michael yelled, "You're throwing your life away." Liam shouted back, "You don't understand me." They hung up, both in tears. It was the last time they spoke for years. Now Liam was alone in a big city with no degree, no job, and no plan. He lived in a small, cheap apartment with cracked walls and a broken heater. Some nights, he went to bed hungry because he didn't have money for food. He worked at a coffee shop during the day, serving people who seemed happier and more successful than him. But even in his darkest days, Liam had one thing: an idea. He loved technology and had a passion for solving problems. He noticed how small businesses struggled to manage their online presence. Liam thought, what if there was an easy tool to help them? That idea became the seed of his future empire. Liam spent nights learning coding through free online courses. He used an old, slow laptop with a cracked screen. Sometimes he cried out of frustration when things didn't work. But he didn't give up. His mother's words echoed in his heart. "You can be anything you want if you believe in yourself." After months of hard work, Liam created a simple software called BizBoost, designed to help small businesses manage their online profiles easily. But there was a problem. No one knew about it. He knocked on doors, emailed companies, and even stood outside offices to talk to people. Most rejected him. Some laughed at him. But Liam kept going. One rainy evening, feeling hopeless, Liam sat on a park bench, soaked and cold. He opened his phone and saw a message from a small bakery owner named Emily. She wrote, "Thank you for Biz Boost. It saved my business." Liam's eyes filled with tears. For the first time, he felt like he mattered. Emily's bakery success story inspired Liam to keep pushing. He improved the software, added more features, and shared it with more businesses. Slowly, word spread. More companies signed up. Investors noticed his work. Within 3 years, BizBoost became one of the fastest-growing tech startups in the U.S. But success didn't erase Liam's pain. He still felt the emptiness of losing his mother and the regret of fighting with his father. One day, standing in his fancy office, he realized that all the money in the world couldn't fill that hole in his heart. So, he did something brave. He picked up the phone and called his father after years of silence. When Michael answered, there was a long pause. Liam's voice trembled. "Dad, I'm sorry." His father didn't say anything at first. Then, Liam heard a soft sob on the other end. Michael replied, "I missed you, son." That conversation healed a part of Liam's heart. They met soon after, hugged tightly, and cried like they hadn't in years. Liam realized that success isn't just about money. It's about love, forgiveness, and connection. Years later, Liam became a billionaire. He was featured on magazines and TV shows. But when people asked about his success, he never talked about money or fame. He said, "The real victory was finding myself after losing everything." He often visited his mother's grave, placing flowers and whispering, "I made it, Mom. I hope I made you proud." This story shows that even when life breaks you, you can rise again. Liam Parker's journey teaches us that failure isn't the end. It's just the beginning of something beautiful. Believe in yourself, even when no one else does. Because sometimes, the biggest empires are built from the smallest pieces of a broken heart. Liam's story didn't just end with success and money. Life continued to teach him lessons, some beautiful and some painful. Even after becoming a billionaire, he faced challenges that reminded him of who he truly was. As his company, BizBoost, grew larger, Liam felt the pressure of managing hundreds of employees. There were days he'd sit alone in his big office, feeling the same loneliness he felt in his small apartment years ago. The walls were now made of glass. The view was of towering skyscrapers, but his heart still carried the same scars. One day, while looking through an old box of his things, Liam found a letter his mother had written to him before she passed away. He had never opened it before, afraid of the emotions it would bring. But this time, with trembling hands, he unfolded the yellowed paper. "Dear Liam, if you're reading this, it means I'm no longer there with you. I know life will get tough, and you'll feel lost without me. But remember, my love for you never ends. You are strong, even when you feel weak. You are brave, even when you're scared. And you are enough, just as you are. Love always, Mom. Tears streamed down Liam's face. It was as if his mother knew exactly what he needed to hear, even years after she was gone. That letter healed a part of him he thought would always be broken. Inspired by his mother's words, Liam decided to do something more meaningful with his success. He created a foundation in her name, the Sarah Parker Foundation, to help young people who felt lost, just like he once did. The foundation provided scholarships for students who dropped out of college but had big dreams. It also offered mental health support because Liam knew how important it was to have someone to talk to when you feel alone. Through his foundation, Liam met a young man named Ethan. Ethan reminded Liam of his younger self, full of potential, but buried under the weight of grief. Ethan had lost his sister and was on the verge of giving up on life. Liam mentored him, sharing his own story of loss and hope. He told Ethan, "Pain doesn't define you. How you rise from it does." Years later, Ethan became a successful entrepreneur, and during his first big speech, he said, "I'm here today because someone believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Thank you, Liam Parker." Liam sat in the audience, tears in his eyes, realizing that true success wasn't just about building an empire. It was about lifting others along the way. Despite all his achievements, Liam never forgot his humble beginnings. He often visited the old coffee shop where he once worked, sitting quietly in a corner, remembering the days he had nothing but dreams. The barista there once asked, "Why do you come here when you own half the city?" Liam smiled and replied, "Because this is where I learned that dreams start small." Liam's relationship with his father also grew stronger. They would spend weekends fishing, just like they did when Liam was a kid. One day, while sitting by the lake, Michael looked at his son and said, "I was wrong to doubt you, but I'm proud of you, not because of your success, but because you never gave up." Liam hugged his father tightly, tears filling his eyes. As years passed, Liam faced more personal losses. His father passed away peacefully in his sleep. Standing at his father's funeral, Liam held the same kind of pain he once felt for his mother. But this time, he wasn't filled with regret. He had made things right. He had said the words that mattered while there was still time. After the funeral, Liam sat alone, holding a small photo of him and his father fishing. He cried, not just out of grief, but also gratitude. Life had given him a second chance to heal, to love, and to forgive. In his final years, Liam wrote a book about his life. The title was simple, More Than a Billionaire. In it, he wrote, "I lost my mother, fought with my father, felt the deepest loneliness, and failed more times than I can count. But through it all, I found something greater than success. I found myself." If you're reading this and you feel lost, remember, It's okay. Your story isn't over. Sometimes the darkest nights create the brightest stars. Liam Parker passed away peacefully at the age of 85, surrounded by friends, family, and countless people whose lives he had touched. At his funeral, people from all over the world came to honor him, not just as a billionaire, but as a man who turned pain into purpose. On his tombstone were the words, "He believed, he fell, he rose, and he inspired." And even though Liam's life ended, his story continued in the hearts of those who learned from his journey. His legacy wasn't just the company he built, but the lives he changed, the hearts he healed, and the hope he gave to people who needed it most. The true empire Liam Parker built was not made of money or skyscrapers. It was made of love, resilience, and the courage to keep going, no matter how hard life gets.